But we start with Britain. Britain's brilliant, isn't it? It's got everything. It's got Paddington Bear and Stonehenge and regular bin collections. But all of this hangs in the balance thanks to immigration, which is out of control. These days, everywhere you look, there's a Polski sklep selling weird foreign food like eggs. What the hell is an egg? Well, no more. Britain is full and we need to keep an eye on anyone new who wants to come here, which is why it's helpful that for over a year, the news has kept us informed of the imminent threat of inbound Romanians and Bulgarians set to flood the country once EU restrictions were lifted on New Year's Day. But who exactly are these people? First, Bulgarians. Bulgarians, as a series of eye-opening reports made devilishly clear, live in a kind of medieval realm twinned with Game of Thrones, consisting entirely of horses and carts and people lugging giant sacks around like they're in a live recreation of a Bruegel painting. Their world isn't entirely backward. I mean, they do have, say, cars, but only shit ones. In fact, as Channel 4's footage made clear, Bulgaria is a kind of open-air shit car museum where the only form of entertainment is driving over the nation's one speed bump. Romania, meanwhile, is apparently also a medieval Game of Thrones Bruegel painting squalor pot, according to this news footage, apparently beamed live from the year 1386. The news certainly painted a graphic picture of deprivation and hot horse-on-cart action. I mean, look at this bleak existence. No utilities, squalid conditions, people lugging sacks around everywhere, and the only way to get about is on horseback. They'd be better off in Britain. Little wonder a tidal wave of immigrants was being predicted by some, and it didn't seem they were going to be welcomed with open arms. It's hard to shake the suspicion that much of the hostility towards immigrants who haven't even migrated yet might have something to do with the kind of level-headed, non-judgmental and factually watertight reporting surrounding the issue. Some of the language about floods and swarms is reminiscent of dehumanising anti-Semitic Nazi propaganda likening Jews to rats.
They are cunning, cowardly and cruel, and usually appear in massive hordes.
And when not being compared with vermin, they're routinely painted as scoundrels or criminals. Many Romanians were unimpressed with the coverage and tried to redress the balance. Sky News found an articulate Romanian barrister who pointed out Romanians had been allowed to work here since 2007 and apparently aren't all thieves.
I know lots of doctors, nurses, scientists, lawyers like myself. We have integrated in this wonderful country and we have been contributing.
Yeah, whatever. Come on, turn your pockets out. Even statistics showing immigrants contribute more than they take don't help because, as the news demonstrated, statistics don't really mean much to most people.
If you read the statistics, most of the Romanians who are here have got jobs, are doing well.
Living it here, the statistics can't be right.
And when people aren't doubting statistics, they just make them up on their own.
The majority are here to claim their benefits, isn't it? They get.
You think the majority here to claim benefits?
Yeah, majority, yeah, definitely.
So you want to see a clampdown?
Big time.
Given the nature of the news coverage, you'd think the Romanians would be rubbing their hands together, looking at the clock and booking their tickets.
But weirdly, as some of the reporters pointed out, they're just not that into us.
Having spoken to people here, it's clear that, contrary to popular myth, Romanians have no wish to go to the UK to live on benefits.
Yeah, I know. I read about it in the paper. They can't wait to come here and steal from us. Just listen to them.
I would never leave my country, this woman says. For what? I'm a patriot.
Give me back my wallet.
What would be the point of leaving Romania? Just for social benefits?
Yeah, whatever. Have you got a receipt for those kids?
I make my money here. I have my family here and my friends here. I feel at home here. I would never go.
You lying thief. Even their own officials denied they wanted to come here.
I can see at least one factor that it makes the UK far less attractive, and that's certainly the weather.
How dare you? What's wrong with our weather?
More disruption and misery after powerful gales and heavy rainfall hit the UK for the second time this week.
Yes, in an apparent bid to scare off the Great Eastern European invasion scheduled for New Year's Day when the floodgates would open, Britain's weather spent much of Christmas demonstrating what it would look like if there were no floodgates at all.
Suddenly, there was an intense sense of déjà vu about some of the coverage. I mean, look at this bleak existence. No utilities, squalid conditions, people lugging sacks around everywhere, and the only way to get about is on horseback. They'd be better off in Romania. As New Year's Day arrived, the press pulled out all the stops to welcome the expected horde of newcomers, while in a last-ditch attempt to put off anyone attempting to enter the country, the government stationed MP and publicity tagnut Keith Vaz at Luton Airport.
In fact, as Sky News clearly proved, when the much-anticipated plane load of Romanians arrived, it turned out most of them already worked here.
But the news did find at least one new Romanian, this guy, Victor, who'd come to get a job washing cars while wearing a green hat.
I don't come to rob your country, I come to work and you open the border.
Hope you paid for that hat. Ironically, while Victor the one-man horde flooded Britain and bravely withstood a coffee with Keith Vaz, there were more British newcomers working in Romania as reporters than new Romanians in Britain. Anyway, now the country is ruined. I miss the traditional British way of life, you know, before we had the Bulgarians and the Romanians, and the Polish and the Russians and the Australians, and the Kurdish and the Turkish, and the Bengalis and the Pakistanis and the Indians and the West Indians and the Africans and the Huguenots, and the Jews and the Normans and the Vikings and the Angles and Saxons and the Romans and the Jutes, and those bloody Celts who were first in the door, the foreign f***ing idiots. It's been downhill ever since.